Alright, so IronSteel with the blue pieces. Spawning as Minoan as the tournament settings dictate. Minoan 1v1 on Conti large. Those are the settings, and wow, a spicy amount of lag to start off this game. I wonder if this is due to me. I should be on the right screen. I hope I am. Everyone let me know if something's wrong. I'm going to minimize in just a second to double check everything. Ooh, wow, Vertex with a strong map here. He's got 5 shorefish right along this coast. He's got some strags to work with as well if he goes for that pit start. Meanwhile, Steel not too far behind with just 4 shorefish and 1 strag with his storefish pit, his storage pit rather. Yeah, so I think early on you can see that Vertex has a pretty solid advantage in that regard. I mean, his pit location doesn't fully take advantage of this, so at this, it's a pretty even, at least the pretty even for the start. Wow, this lag really catching up to these players now. Hopefully this resolves pretty quickly, as this would be pretty debilitating to deal with throughout the whole set. But I think it will resolve with just a little bit of time. So everything all set. Okay. Everything looks good. I don't see any alarming comments, so I'm going right back to the game. Wow. Vertex. I mean, I think Vertex is going to get the better of his own map as he has some idle time here. Poor guy. That's not what you want to be seeing at this stage. So early on to be idling a Vil. I mean, this is, when you think about it, what? 16% of his economy or something? What's 1/8? 16%? Roughly. It's a lot of his eco to be idling for even just a little bit. It adds up as the longer the game goes, the more that bonus accrues for Steel here. Now, I don't know how to call either of these player styles. I know IronSteel's style very well. I've played with and against IronSteel many a time. But as well as Vertex. I think Vertex potentially the more aggressive player, more inclined to go for those rushes that are like sub 18 pop. But I don't know if we're going to see that. Wow, a lot of lag still. IronSteel, I know, very much so a fan of fast times as well as a dock, which could potentially make him get caught off guard. Like, he could potentially get caught in a bad spot. If he goes for that dock, you know, we all know it slows the player down significantly, the one who goes for the dock. So Vertex, maybe knowing this, could be going for a very, very aggressive opener. And so we're going to have to see who takes game 1 here. I mean, remember, this is best of 3, so this first game isn't quite indicative of who will win the tournament, but it's a pretty clear indicator as to who you should potentially favor for winning the set. Sure. IronSteel now getting up his wood pit at 4 minutes. Pretty good time. At 4 minutes, basically the ideal moment to get that wood pit up, especially if you can put 5 or 6 Vils on that wood line. It's really going to help you get that dock up early. We see IronSteel with just 4 here, so potentially looking to not go for that greedy dock. But with both players having very similar starts, it's really going to come down to this decision here. We're nearing the 15th Vil. We're nearing the point where either player could be going for their granary or a dock. And we're seeing the granary from IronSteel. Maybe not feeling confident in the dock play here. I don't disagree with this choice from him. And I don't disagree if Vertex does it as well. I think it's a safer play. The dock, obviously pumping your population, your Vil count up to like 20, 24, can really help out your economy in the Tool Age early. It can sustain an axe rush and sustain pushes and sustain Vil production throughout the beginning of the Tool Age. But as we've seen before and many times, and as we will continue to see in this tournament, one of the critical decisions that you have before you as you start to get this to this population level is, do I build this dock or do I favor a faster time? Remember that 100 wood really hurts your time. And with a couple ships, that's 300 wood with 4 ships and a dock. It can really slow you down, you know. That's nearly 300, that's over 300 food if you have good sources of food. Ooh, what are these vills doing? Looks like Vertex is going to be going for a pretty defensive play here. I suspect he will be building a dock and maybe a barracks on this side of the map. Looking to close in his little area here with some stone. He could be going for some really strong slinger play, which will really help him out. And I think we might be getting a more passive game than we're used to in this series. So far, nearly all of our games have ended in the early tool. You know, they've really been decided by who rushes first. But if neither player rushes, if both player goes for defensive options such as slingers and seed control, we could be seeing an entirely different game molded around this around these decisions, right? Like we're seeing it now. I mean, IronSteel, however, it looks to be not not agreeing to what I just said, with 20 vills building a very forward barracks here, right on the massive hill. He's going to be very comfortable with this decision, as it will propel him into a great spot in which he can really pressure. He can really pressure basically everything that Vertex has. However, Vertex is on the cusp of being full walled. You know, he's what, 3 stone tiles away from a full wall, which makes a lot of his economy safe. He's got the stone, 2 forests. That's plenty of resources in which he could really fuel a slinger and sea control type map defensive play from the slingers. I foresee here, especially with 2 vills on stone. I think we can definitely predict slingers coming out. However, it looks like he might be a little too late. It looks like IronSteel is going to be getting in right now, potentially getting in on this wood line, which could put him in a really tough spot. It looks like also, if you didn't notice this, IronSteel leaving a little gap here. This is not walled. Just know, there is no tree behind this. As we get another lag spike. Poor players. I feel bad for any player who has to deal with these lag spikes. However, as I say all the time, it's just part of the skill, you know? Dealing with lag like this, I mean, if you're a micro heavy player, this actually is a little beneficial. This lets you, you know, really micro every unit. And look at what it let Vertex do. That little bit of lag, he was able to place all of his walls. He might get a little caught out here with the house wall, but I think he'll have plenty of time to reinforce that, especially when you consider that he has a stone mine there. He's going to have no qualms just building a ton of stone walls to delay these axes. And I think Steel is going to feel... He's going to feel this. He's gonna get into some trouble here, especially as he keeps making axers. And look at that. Fully upgraded axers from IronSteel. How many vills can he kill here? Potentially 4. 4 of Vertex's vills are exposed. But remember, for the time being, this does shut down Vertex's economy in terms of vill production, right? Without the vill production, he's gonna be in some trouble, right? Like he's not gonna be able to produce more vills. He's just stuck on the slingers. He only has the 1 dock, and he's just getting his first ship out now. However, on the other side of the map, it looks like Steel going for full all-in on these axers. Could be looking to do near lethal damage very quickly. However, he's giving his opponent Vertex a lot of time to build up to that oh so critical slinger mass. We've talked about this time and time again. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is a wall there, but I'm not so convinced. I think this might be open. I still think this is open. There must be a very well hidden tree there. Oh, there it is. Oh, small wall. Okay, there's a small wall there. Vertex able to get the wall off there, and now he's going to be moving out, pushing out to catch off these individual slingers that Steel left behind, and that's going to put Steel in a really tough spot. Vertex, however, getting the wall off, will be able to prevent a lot of this aggression from Steel. Walling off his economy once again on this top left. Ooh, and this is, we've talked about, this has happened a ton. Vertex moving into the middle of the map with only 8 slingers, guys. Only 8 slingers. And Steel has plenty of axemen. He could get a really solid surround here. Oh, and I love this play from Steel. Making a forward dock. These forward docks pretty critical to an axe rush in this situation, especially on Conti. So if you'll notice, Vertex basically defaulted to the standard defense on Conti, which is walls around your forest and coast, and then you build docks to get food. So if Vertex Steel has a lot of options here, he can build, as he's doing now, he can build scout ships. He could also opt for a transport, but in the middle of the map, as his ship does some critical damage here to Vertex's economy, if not stalling. IronSteel is getting exactly what he needs. He's potentially culling the masses, as I like to say. Vertex moved out with a not-so-death ball. It's just a small ball. It's a tennis ball. This is a golf ball of slingers. It is not going to be doing the damage he needs. He can't quite one or two shot these slingers as they approach, and so he will be losing every single slinger in this push. And wow, still more lag. These players, somehow we're getting a lot of lag here. Although all three of us here are in the Americas, so I'm pretty surprised by this amount of lag. I don't know exactly how to prevent this at this stage. I do apologize if it is detrimental to your viewing experience, but that's the way it is. That's what we have to deal with, and as of now, we can't do anything to fix this. Oh, and Vertex is getting a lot of hits. I mean, rather, IronSteel is getting a lot of hits onto Vertex's ship, but Vertex will maintain the pressure and get the first hits off. Ooh, Steel coming forward for the repair. I mean, repairing these ships is so valuable. The cost of the ship and the time it takes to build it is far outweighed by your ability to repair it, right? Or no, it far outweighs the replacement. The replacement time is high, and the cost is high to replace, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so Vertex basically having to start from ground zero here. Back in his safe economy, remember, this is very exposed. He's not producing villagers. If we look at the timeline, Steel is booming on the sea and the land, probably? Wow, actually, no. Wow. I'm very surprised by this play from Steel. I've played against him a lot. He's a player who really favors this the sea aggression, but also the sea boom. I'm surprised he isn't going for any docks. Maybe this is a new strategy he's been practicing. It looks to be strong though. The full all-in on the land, he will be denying the town center, but that really won't do much for just now, as Vertex hasn't been able to produce any bills for a while. Man, I mean, Vertex is just in such a tough spot now. With IronSteel getting the time he needs. Vertex maybe waiting, I mean, pushing it. Imagine if he had kept all of the slingers in reserve. I mean, IronSteel still wouldn't be able to push, right? But Vertex is still holding this little hole here. Like, if he had just saved all the slingers, he would have the numbers. He would have nearly 30 slingers. He could push out and be doing lethal damage to each axer that dares to approach this army. However, with his current choices, he's now still kind of at this low-key subpar, especially when you consider the size of IronSteel's army. I mean, in Steel, he might lose a unit here or there, but that's just testing the waters. He's not one to lose his whole army in a foolish engagement. He's very proactive on his map, on his mini-map, and moving 4 vills forward. I can only imagine this is towards these berries. Interesting. Maybe another dock going up. Yeah, there's another dock, and now Vertex forced to move out again, but look at the size of the army from IronSteel. And this is going to be a decisive fight, guys. This is going to be absolutely decisive. Vertex accidentally A-clicking, but missing for some reason, and walking right into these axes. He's going to get absolutely cold once again. And at this point, with the slingers for IronSteel now in action, IronSteel is looking to take a very confident game 1, as that is the second army lost for Vertex, and Vertex just way too far behind in terms of economy. I mean, just look, 29 to 22. Timeline is absolutely in favor of IronSteel. Look at all these forward buildings going unpunished. Oh man, IronSteel's in a great position, and the house dies. Steel could get in on Vertex's fragile economy. I think we're going to be seeing the GG right now. Yeah, there's the GG. Oh, guys, we got some close games. This is going to be good. Steel getting an incredible game 1 here against his opponent, Vertex. And that's where we're just seeing the advantages and disadvantages of that axe rush, right? I mean, we've talked about it all tournament, and this is basically, it's not as much of a crapshoot as some might think. There is a lot of strategy involved in deciding what you do. It's a lot of it is map dependent, if the slinger option is available or not, if your axe rush is going to be fast enough or not. But when you consider all of those factors, I mean, truly IronSteel with the right decision. I mean, the axe rush into slingers just absolutely shut down Vertex. And when you consider Vertex plays there, you have to, I think, as a spectator, you just have to question pushing out with that first army. That first army just getting absolutely caught out and demolished in the middle of the map. The second one also getting demolished. Maybe getting a little overconfident. I can't say I know for sure. Can't read the players' minds, but what I do know is that we have an incredible series coming up for you guys. This is only game one of the best of three.